Welcome back to another episode of the Lofty Lender's Homebuyer Education, where we explore tips, tricks, and stories that can help you plan for your next home purchase. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a move-up buyer, an investor, or just looking to learn, we hope you gain a little knowledge today. You know, Charlie, I really need to just record that one time, and so that way the listeners don't have to hear me fumble through that each time I do it. But you know what? It
Nah, it's
works
more
for
fun to be unique. You're good.
Today we're digging into a topic that doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves. The hidden costs of home ownership. So you've probably calculated your down payment, your monthly mortgage payment. You've looked over our spreadsheets, but what other expenses actually are coming up when you own a home? And I want to take a moment to recognize we already did one on specifically home maintenance, but it's not just home maintenance that comes into play when you own a house, right, Charlie?
Well, there's maintenance that's like the, oh crap, I need to fix something, but yeah, it's the proactive, so that way stuff is not costing you more later, and you're having quality of life, like annual air conditioning, annual furnace, so therefore twice a year to have the HVAC guy out. Lots of little stuff, so you are enjoying what you got and not having a big burden later.
Yep. And you can kind of think of it like buying a car, right? You have the sticker price that you pay right up front, but then you got insurance, and then you got to change the oil, and then you got to buy tires, especially when you're living in Altoona and driving to Urbandale every day like myself. And apparently we go through a lot of miles putting on, going 80 for 30 minutes. Apparently that's a lot of miles. I didn't realize it. But
Teleport.
Yeah. Well, that'd be really good. My son told me he's going to come up with that someday. Maintenance on your vehicle, just all those little things that come up when you own a vehicle. Well, the same really goes for your home. You need to budget beyond just that purchase price. Few things to be cognizant of as you are looking at homes. I've been just thinking of buying a house. Property taxes and homeowners insurance, of course, those come with it. Sometimes you're going to have HOA dues, and HOA dues, I don't know about you, Charlie, but man, I've just seen some insane numbers that have come back for just houses in the metro here.
Yeah, and when you think about it, it's covering labor for mowing typically, labor for snow removal. The machinery for that stuff is not cheap. If you're doing weed protection and trying to keep the yards looking nice, watering, none of this stuff is inexpensive. So if everything goes up $5, you got 4, 5, 6 things, you're going $25, $30 a month per person just to do that. So you don't have that maintenance item, which is nice, but you have the very consistent dues each month to cover it, and you're not having to physically do it. So it depends on what you like.
A few other things include like your utilities, of course, your maintenance and repairs we talked about, furniture and appliances. Wife always wants a new couch, right? We got to get another new couch here soon, so might as well start thinking about that. Or that refrigerator, it just goes when your refrigerator is completely full.
With the computer on it, I mean, you need the full iPad, big screen, watch your TV on your fridge. Everybody needs it.
Really want to know what I have in my refrigerator though when I'm at the store, and they've got that now, so it's really a cool technology. But I just wonder, if I ask it, do I have milk, and it'll say yes, you've got milk, and then I get home and that's actually the orange juice. Like, how does it know?
Well, what are we going to get in trouble for if we don't ask where something is and it's right in front of us? I mean, I don't want to ruin that for my wife.
Wife loves it when I call her and I'm at the store just for one thing and I can't find that one thing.
Oh, I gotta love it.
And of course, furniture and appliances, you also have your annual services like Charlie talked about, your lawn care, your pest control, gutter cleaning, many things that are really kind of fall into that maintenance, but things you need to be doing with your home every year as well. So,
and a dumb little thing, Kyle, but lately, edging. Do you know how nice it looks when you spend a little extra time, whether you do it or you hire somebody to do it? Man, you get that clean edge and the weeds are gone. You can see your path. Sorry, I really like edging.
It does look nice when it's nice and clean like that, high and tight. I like it. I recently had somebody who was all excited because we got them qualified for a house and they were able to purchase a home. I think it was up to about a $200,000 limit. And fortunately, $200,000 doesn't buy you what it used to, right? Even just in the 6 years I've been here, $200,000 has really cut back on how much of a house you can afford, unfortunately. But they were all excited. Found a house. They found a condo that was under that $200,000 purchase price. We hadn't talked about condos at all. We were looking at single family homes from the very beginning. Suddenly, this condo pops on the market. It's the one. It's perfect. They don't realize is we didn't talk about HOA dues because they were not exploring condos. So then we have to talk about, okay, well, this HOA actually is $350 a month. You can afford a property under $200 based on not having HOA dues. If you've got those HOA dues in there, it's going to decrease the purchase price that you have. Again, everything's based on your monthly payment. And so that's why it's really helpful for us, obviously, to know what you're actually exploring and what you're willing to explore. I've got another gentleman who said, I will not live in a condo. You can't pay me to live in a condo. Great. I know I don't have to worry about your HOA dues. So.
And it's not like it's a true dollar for dollar. I mean, your monthly payment's going to go up because you have that consistent dues each month. But, I mean, if it snows and you don't have to scoop it, you've prepaid for that. Versus if it snows and you hire a plow or you hire the neighbor kids to scoop, you're going to have more expenses that aren't part of your monthly payment. So it does offset, but you have to be prepared that it's in every single month. But you also don't have as much deferred maintenance either, because that HOA is taking care of things that you're not going to have a big windfall for, whether it's a tree comes down or the fence needs repaired. So it is some peace of mind, and it's a lot less manual labor typically because you're not doing those things. But it's a little dynamic shift. Make sure you're comfortable with that budget each month.
That's just it. It's the HOA wasn't the issue. It was just the fact that we hadn't talked about the cost of an HOA included in the monthly payment. So fortunately, they had to find another search or a no that was a lot cheaper. So next up is does this fit into your portfolio, your income, your capacity, things like that. So lender may approve you for a payment you can afford on paper. If you're not budgeting for the maintenance, it could really stretch you thin. I mean, we talk all the time. I can't believe somebody can get qualified for a home up to 50% debt ratio of their gross income. People don't see their gross income unless they're self-employed and they pay taxes later. Even then, it's still going to have to pay taxes. You don't have all of that money, and yet we're giving you, working more than what you bring home, more than half of what you bring home for the house. That's crazy.
It is, and we can even go over 50%. It's not that we should, but I mean, a lot of those systems will let us, and there's okay circumstances for that. And then there's other times just because we can doesn't mean we should. And then we're back to where we want to make sure everybody is stable and comfortable, not just get you in there. Those are two totally different answers at times.
Diversification. It's a well-maintained home routines do better. If you skip that upkeep to save money, it can really hurt your resale down the road. An example of this, I had they not ever change their furnace filter. They didn't realize that they needed to change it. They were not aware of changing a furnace filter. Well, that filter eventually just got sucked right into the furnace. It caused a mess and the furnace broke, and it just ended up having to replace the furnace because we're not aware that there was a filter in there. They didn't know they needed to change it. Like, this thing was black. It was gross.
That's yeah. The handyman maintenance thing that you and I were just talking about offline. What you don't know is hard to learn because you don't know a question to ask. Yeah, it's crazy. It's very common sense once you know, but until you do it a couple times.
My brother-in-law bought me a first-time homebuyer for dummies book when I first bought a house, and yeah, it was really good. It had a lot of, it's kind of like a This Old Home type of a book, but it gave me a lot of cool insight. Told me about cleaning out the water heater. Cleans out their water heater. Not the way you're supposed to. And I did it one time with my old house, my old water heater. I ended up breaking the valve because it had never been done, and I couldn't close the valve after that. So
once you skipped it for so long, now it's don't touch it.
In my defense, the guy that owned it before me had never cleaned it. So that's why I tried to do it. And anyways, still didn't work.
Too funny.
Another piece of it is your payments. So your monthly escrow for tax and insurance can change yearly. Budgeting for those increases, not just the current rate, knowing especially like on a new build, taxes are going to kick in a couple of years after your home's been assessed and your taxes are due. You need to start budgeting for that ahead of time. I tell all the people that I work with, if you buy a new build, start budgeting for those taxes right away. And then if you have extra money, just throw it at the principal and do a one lump sum payment if you'd like. But always plan to have those taxes coming due because they are going to eventually come due. And you're going to be upset when you should have been putting $600 a month away for a little while and forgot.
And we've had decent luck. I know I've been bringing this up more. We've talked about it. But if you want to take and have like your savings account for your maintenance and emergency, it's hard to put money in there. The whole pay yourself first thing and set money aside. But if you were to have that savings account and you have your monthly mortgage payment drafted from that savings account, and let's say it's $1,500, if you can force yourself to put in $1,600 or $1,700, it's just extra money. Now that's your maintenance. Your mortgage payment's going to come out. If the escrow account goes up once a year, you're ready for it, but you're forcing yourself to have that maintenance account. And if you have to dip into it for an emergency, okay, that's why it's there. But that can be a nice way to bridge the gap to where it's still your money, but just force yourself to have that maintenance account, or at least be prepared for the increase. And then you don't have those shocking surprises no one wants those. Those are hard to take.
Following that maintenance path, tracking the stuff that you're doing to your home is also hugely important. I just recently replaced my siding last year, 2 years ago now. I wrote it down somewhere. I can't remember. And that's the problem. I go to sell in a couple of years. I don't remember when I replaced my siding. I don't remember when I replaced my roof, but I wrote all those things down. So that way, when I do go to sell my house, I use the Apple Notes on my phone, and I just have everything written down there when I've replaced all these things, when I've replaced windows, doors, the major things that go with your house and your furnace and air conditioner and everything.
There's a lot. This can only store so much up here.
Don't really care to remember when you replace your water heater, to be honest with you.
And a dumb thing, though, use a permanent marker and write on the side of your stuff. I mean, if it's not something you look at every day, but I literally wrote on my water heater when we were flushing water heaters. Mine's 2 years old, 3 years old. We hadn't flushed it. I just wrote on there, I think it was September of 24, flush. Fine. And same thing with your furnace filters. You can write in the side of the furnace filter, because I never remember when I replaced it. Like, was it a month ago or is it 6 months ago? Open it up, look at it. There's the date. Yeah, little things. We got a lot of stuff to pay attention to. It's hard to remember stuff.
Reminding me, I use the reminders app on my phone, and my furnace filter has been popping up for the last week, and I've not replaced it. So I've not gone too long. I might get the nice ones. So they're 3 months long, but it's time to do it.
With this heat, it'll appreciate a nice, clean flow.
True, especially the allergies that are running through my house with my kids these days. So, all right. So current events in today's market, many buyers are waiving inspections or buying houses as is just to compete. But, Charlie, and you and I were talking about this. This was something really popular back in 2021 and 20, something like that, where people were buying houses with super low interest rates because everybody was competing for the same house, and they had to go in $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over asking price, as is, not looking to do an inspection.
Oh yeah, I want it. Give it to me.
Problem is that trend continued, and so we're still seeing people that are buying houses without having an inspection. I think an inspection runs $350, $400, and you are willing to risk the $400. You not get this offer. And then you get into the house and you realize, oh, they've been having water in their basement I didn't know about. They've had holes in their walls. Like, there are issues all the time.
Well, and you have emotion, whether you're excited, you're nervous, whatever. When you've got emotion, you miss things. And so you see what you want, you miss what you don't want or don't know. And if you're not good at looking for that stuff anyway, you're not even sure what you're looking at. So you get somebody in there, just play it safe. If you want to go to the casino and bet your $100, and you know you're only going to lose $100, that's fine. But a home inspection, you're not betting $400 for $400. You're betting $400 for $10,000 or $20,000, and that's a very, very good idea to do. Just spend the money, because it's not just the big problems; it's the honey-do list, like we talked about earlier. Or the gutter's not cleaned. Not a big deal; just needs done. So yeah, don't waste the mentality of the $400 is not saving me money. It's a big deal, and it's so much good information that you're going to be appreciative down the road.
Some actionable takeaways, Charlie. You already mentioned this, but budgeting 1% to 3% of your home's value annually for those maintenance items. In a $1,000 house, you're maybe putting $3,000 to $9,000 away in an account. You're going to have your maintenance, maybe a little extra money left over at the end of the year, so you need to buy some furniture. All these things that could potentially come up along the way. Your taxes increase, your insurance increases, things like that. It's nice to just have that money sitting aside. And obviously, you probably won't have the money to set aside $9,000 on January 1. That's fine. Just start putting away $250 to $500, $750, whatever. Put away some money every month into a separate account or however you budget, and just know that that money's sitting there just in case.
Love it.
Ask for utility bills during your home search so that you're not shocked later. So a lot of times agents will work with you to make sure that, they find out what the average cost of the water bill is, what the average cost of the electricity bill is, things like that, because a 2,400 square foot home is going to be way different than a 1,200 square foot home. Even if the 1,200 square foot home is nicer, newer, whatever. In fact, that could actually make it even more efficient because it's nicer and newer. So it's really important to get those things up front to really understand what your bills are going to look like once you get moved in. We've got build that homeowner emergency fund. So You've got the
Huge.
maintenance fund. This is just a little bit of money you set aside, $3,000, $5,000, $7,000. You're just leaving it there for something bad that may go wrong one day. You've got your water heater that may go out, $3,000, I believe. Your furnace that may go out, that could be $20,000 for all I know.
You just don't know. And this is one area that you don't have to have everything in cash. So you have to have access to reasonable money. Sometimes that's checking savings, but as you own this home, we've always talked about the appreciation you're getting. So the equity you have in your house, that's where you can talk about having a little bit of home equity loan or a line of credit. So there's other ways to do this. So don't beat yourself up if you don't have this $3,000 and that $3,000 and another $4,000. Don't stress about it. Save what you can, but let's get a home equity line of credit set up for you. So it's there not for you to spend on stuff you want. It's for the maintenance, furnace, water heater, but it's a good safety net because it's very inexpensive money compared to a credit card or something else that's going to dig a hole that you don't want.
Great point. There's no way that I'm saving up $5,000 for one thing and $9,000 for the other and $6,000. It's just too much money to be saving. So that's a great point. And I've always had a home equity line myself that I've opened up and just let sit on my house unused, sitting there with a $0 balance, just knowing that if I ever need something that instantly and I need a lot of cash, I can jump in and I can call the bank or credit union, whoever I use, ask them, hey, I need that money right now. They get it to me. Instead of waiting and then applying, waiting for 2 or 3 weeks before I can actually get it. Now, do I still need it? It becomes a hassle.
And a stress. I mean, again, we have these things set up ahead of time. That's what we're trying to do, is make it to where you can enjoy life, remove the stress, and when life throws you a challenge, it's an inconvenience versus a major problem that's going to really kind of put you in a bad place that's hard to get out.
And finally, I know this is the hardest one probably to hear, but we don't recommend you max out your approval budget. And the reason I say that is if you're qualified for a home purchase with a monthly payment up to $2,500, $500 is the max you can go to. If you're going to $2,495, you're using up probably 50% of your gross income, which is more than 50% of your net income. You're using up a lot of that money. Now you got a bigger house. You're going to have all of these additional costs that we've just talked about, the maintenance, the lawn care, all these little things that are going to add up. Then you also have the unexpected costs, things that are going to just show up out of nowhere, your furnace breaking down, et cetera. It usually breaks down about 13 months into owning because you get that 12-month home warranty. And then you're like, yeah, I don't want to spend triple the amount to renew it. And then that's when it breaks, unfortunately. By maxing out your budget, you're really putting yourself in a bad position. Now, that said, there are plenty of times where it's made sense for them to max out their budget. For example, I'm working with husband and wife, and husband's the only one on the loan. Wife makes great money, but she doesn't have great credit. Well, we can max out husband's income because wife is still bringing in great income as well. Together, their money goes in one pool. They make bill payments, etc. Go ahead and max him out because that makes sense. We can easily know that there's more money in the household. We're not going to have an issue.
Yep. There's always reasons.
Single person, you've got, maybe you're a single person. You don't have any kids, and it's just you. You go to a 15-year term and try to max it out when you also want to have a life. You don't want to be house broke. So it just really depends on the situation. Charlie, anything else to add to the conversation today?
No, I like that last bit you did, because that's not capping you out now and leaving you a choice for later, because you never know what's going to come up. You have kids, new spouse, different job. I mean, there's so many things that could come up. So just give yourself some breathing room. That way you can sleep good at night. And when there is a problem, it's a slight inconvenience versus something that, just big deals are no fun.
All right. Well, that wraps up today's episode of The Lofty Lender. We hope you found this conversation helpful and feel more prepared to budget wisely as a future homeowner. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms and subscribe to the podcast for more exciting episodes. And remember, stay curious. We'll see you next week on The Lofty Lender.
Cheers.